equal and the same. Smash the chains. Hammering Hank. Ada unbreakable. CPS crumbling. Bomb detonating. Rough. What? Yo. We equal and the same, no damn chains on our flame. CPS, demon scheming, playing very twisted game. Hammering Hank, pounding hard, shattering the frame, fighting for blood rights, igniting the blame. Hey, the warriors rise up fierce, disabilities to fight or curse. Equal under fire, no retreat, no reverse. They divide and conquer, label us lame, but on a podcast we unleash the hurricane. Equal and the same, what? We demolish CPS, what? Hammering Hank charges. Snarling at the beast system, they caging in rage. But hammering Hank crushes the stage with savage rage. Podcasts erupting like a nuclear bomb. CPS horrors exposed, calm before the storm. Hell no. Ain't armor for the bold and the scarred. People with disabilities, stars in the yard. No inferior labels, we clash in the night. Hammering vengeance till the dawn's brutal light. Equal and the same. What? We demolish CPS. What? Hammering Hank charges. Fury in this infernal war, equal and the same, we even the score. For every disability, crushed and denied, hammering Hank obliterates with 8-8 tide. Podcast mic scorching, breaking news bomb inferno. CPS imploding, truth's eternal bang. Equal and the same. What? Smack. We demolish CPS. What? Crush hammering Hank charges.
Hey guys, welcome to Equal and the Same. I'm Henry Martaccio. It's 3/21/26. Crazy week. Had a hell of a lot of fun. I did win one this week, and I think he did it for procedural, just so that he doesn't get in trouble. It doesn't exist. 28 CFR 35.107 for the state of Connecticut. After 18 years of asking, I had a case this week decide to halt everything to actually comply because it was a Title III court. It was a court that was considered to be a criminal court. And with all the problems I have from the probate court, empowering somebody to attack me and my estate and my child's rights for home and community inclusion, training, greenhouse, just it's a long story with me, but I'm a very complicated person. But what I noticed the other day too was I signed in to the Supreme Court just to get a confirmation before I finish up my paperwork, which I know I promised everybody last Monday. But I crashed 3 different systems, and even as a fact tonight, I know Darren said it was good to go, so I went for a test and I crashed his system. Everyone is crashing around me. But what the funny part is, guys, I went to get a denial in my Supreme Court case, which again, you want to look at the argument of non-compliancy in the contextual speaking of a constitutional matter underneath, I believe it was not strictest scrutiny. It'll come back to me. But anyways, these constitutional protections are guaranteed because I was able to break down to international law, which that's what we keep on talking about when we're all talking about these are, crimes against humanity, for our children to be sold and say it's their best interest to go with somebody else when there's no factual harm. No, you cannot tell me you want to perceive harm. There could be harm. There shall be harm. No, there has to be harm. And that's where the absolute argument is in our parental rights. that this government has now, reused their fancy words. I believe Ohio is proposing no longer you have a fundamental right as a parent. They're trying to make it where you have duty, a duty to your child. And this is not a fundamental right no longer. I say bullshit. We have our natural laws. If I birth that child, that is my child because that's what nature has charged me to do. Yeah. So, anyways, hey guys, everyone. Hey John, welcome. We got Canada in the house, which I saw a good video the other day. You guys standing down China. So I saw that one the other day. Proud of your boys up there in the recon. They had some pretty good kahunas. But even this whole thing that's going on with the strait, I just don't get it, man. Why don't we just tell them, listen, straight up, we're done. If China can dig islands and make islands in Saudi Arabia or Dubai was able to make a big custom island, made like a palm tree or something like that. But the facts are, why don't we just go in there with the dredging equipment and just go ahead and open up that channel so she's a lot bigger and boats can free flow and just reshift the island material that we dig up to whoever we dug it up to, if that makes sense. So if the point belongs to XYZ, move it, shift it so that point becomes a wider point instead of a longer point. But number two plan would be you have less than 48 hours to evacuate 5 miles inward from the shoreline, and we just hammer the shit out of that area. I mean, everyone just hammers it until it's so blown up. And again, it's not even funny. There's nothing that could live through it. And I get we're going to be killing some environmental impact and everything like that, but this solves the problem because from there on out, that strait is open. There's not a reason we cannot use bombs to open up that girth of the strait. But and end this nonsense because we got to pay back attention. Now, I did hear from one of my advocates, which again, my good friend Melissa, she started a group. She was going to be on tonight, guys, but she just got caught up with her own stuff. And again, sorry for the delays. You know how I hate this. I really like to be on time. Time is everything. But Darren talked me into coming on now. I wanted to dig back into my briefs. But I felt like it was just a quick hopes for everyone, So again, on my Supreme Court, it's easy. You can just take Google and just type in, can the court deny a disability right with just a denial? Or do they have to explain as applied to the disability why that doesn't gives them an undue burden? Because that's their only one thing option they have as undue burden. My belief is investigations. If a state actor and state player discriminates against somebody with a disability, again, it should be held accountable. They should not have the opportunity to keep going and dealing and interact with people with disabilities. They must be removed from state service 100%. Cannot even be part of any subcontracted service. If the person wanted to go out and open up their own, let's just say, advisory committee, I still don't see how that would be legal. So basically, in my opinion, it would make it so that these people, like we do with pedos, are not supposed to be around children because they harmed them. So the point would be, again, same there, that these people have brought harms to the disabled. They are paid as state employees. They have policies and procedures and ethics as an employee that they must follow. And if they don't follow it, which is the biggest point would be, is if they don't know the answer to your question and you go to the wrong department, they must help you find the correct department. They just can't tell you, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. So it's an affirmative responsibility too, because Congress has made it with prophylactic protections and strictest scrutinies when somebody is seeking disability rights to be equal and the same as women's rights, to be equal and the same as, animal rights, because I seem to think that animals got more rights than humans from neglect and abuse and unnecessary torturement, which would be, again, breaking up a family would be the torturement, because there's nobody that could recover from that. But back to Melissa, I do know she is looking for some people who have been through the system. I got good news. I feel comfortable in telling you this. Be ready for about July if we can get this shit in order. If we can end this war, Trump's concentration will be 100% on what's going on. And to prove it too is the good news that I have too is where is it? Right here. He did on believe it was March 16th, a fact sheet. President Trump established a task force to eliminate fraud. So when we talk about fraud, it was already asked me, well, what do you mean by fraud? I think it goes all the way. On behalf of the president, to coordinate the comprehensive national strategy to stop fraud, waste, and abuse across the federal benefits programs, including housing, food, medical care, cash assistance, administered with states and local partners in order to protect the benefits for eligible Americans. So again, guys, when I tell you, again, I talk about the ADA and the power, what happens and what policy and procedure must be carried over to another policy and procedure, as long as it brings greater protection to that disabled's needs. That's clear and established by case law, and will of the ADA. Just like Congress, assume the states were going to be on their honor roll to do this shit. And that's why it's prophylactic protections and stricter scrutiny for ending of discrimination in 1990. So when you think about things like this, you just got to wonder, why can't we start going after them? And I don't care if you're in family court. I don't care if you're in CPS or like in my case, the Department of Developmental Services, because, or even just going for basic needs of your family, which DDS and public health, it applies to all, even the police department. If they're not implementing and there's a cost-effective way to end this process, they must take that route. And what we all find is, they want to achieve that 30-day, that 6-month mark, that that it ties into with their funding 100%. And I just think it's kind of crazy that, we can maybe go down this road too. And again, see where it might bring us and see what's going to happen, because I hope Billy from Toll and Roll sees this. I hope she's paying attention tonight. But anyways, I think this is big. I think this is triggering, and what they're saying is Gavin Newsom's California's budget is going to make Minnesota look like a joke. I think Connecticut, because I'm here, we have the Doge reports that show all the other types of fraud that are going on. Self-evaluation the state did. Again, with DCF kids, a lot of missing people, a lot of program service and activity bucks. And what my governor is doing right now is he decided to declare an emergency that the legislators got to meet and pass funding rights for these funds that were going to be taken away from us so that we can keep these program services and activities going. They chose not to have one hearing. They're trying to slide some ADA stuff in there. I did hear, though, that the Department of Developmental Services injured 4,000 people in their care. And when they use the word injure, let's just say been assaulted by staff, and 15 people died last year. That's an all-time record 1 year for the Department of Developmental Services. Again, their answer is to drug them up. There's only so long you can drug these people up before it becomes adverse effects. My think it is why not treat the body, then go after the mind. And a lot of it's with supplements and eating, and not eating certain things. Just like we all know, for easy factors, some people can pound bear and it never affects them. Some people can drink hard alcohol and it never affects them. Other people sniff wine and they're all in loopy world. So again, we don't know about the whole detoxification system of our body. What happens when the toxic stress shuts down our system? I believe it's called autism. And again, other types of diseases, even like Lyme disease. I think that's a body's inability to shut down when this invader came in, which again is getting off the beaten path. But I want to explain why our government should be basically looking at these CAM therapies. The general population, yeah, you're good to go. Treatment is normal. But for the ones that have reoccurring ailments, there has to be now testing, which has been out for many years. That's what kills me, at the biomedical level, so we can start really seeing and crunching the data and getting the actual health data for our society of what's going on. I believe it was Nantucket Island. This was the big news either last night or yesterday during the day. I think it was on Fox. But anyways, it was about Nantucket Island being extremely high right now for presence of cocaine in their sewage treatment water system. You guys do know that's how they tell who's sick, who's got herpes, who's got, whatever the disease is, because our shit, which doesn't really get treated that well in the plant, is released into our water supplies, hence polluting our water supplies. But nor here nor there. And the funny part is everybody wants to go to the beach and go swim in that crap. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I'm just again rambling here away, I guess. But those are the few things I wanted to tell you guys about, because I think again, the state of Connecticut just did another big ooh, and as it being the Supreme Court, the same argument used on the appellate court, they just did the same exact thing. And again, I'm sorry, when I'm knocking on the door now of the Chief Justice, which guys go back to the 2019 DOJ settlement agreement with the state of Louisiana, very powerful, and it's a driving tool that's going to help you guys, argue this in court. And I get you're going to be either in a probate court or a secret court, of DCF or CPS, whatever you want to call it. But even in civil court, I've seen courtrooms emptied out in cases going on where there's no one else of the general public in there. And I've been there on regular days where, it's a freaking zoo. And I just don't know if we can start, really banging on this door now, because I do have the argument. Like I said, I was able to tie it into international law, because why? Congress invoked the ADA in 1990. UN years later looked at the ADA as its basis and its foundations to create the national human rights. And they went a little further in some areas, in my opinion, as clarifying the rule for absolute. The government must care for the world's most vulnerable, if I can't explain it any more than that. Where you fall into it at the times in your life, I think everyone falls in different patterns. And then you come in and you come out. But again, as we all know, it's a 6-month requirement to meet the prima facie. Once your prima facie is met, you'd be considered to be disabled. Nobody can refute it. And again, we're talking from post-traumatic stress all the way down to a clinical diagnosis of something. Because again, typically the people who are going to be targeted are the parents of high complex medical problems, which again leads me to the legal kidnapping and illegal abuse of the whole system just for profit. It's really crazy when we start getting into this and how deep. But I wish Donald Trump is listening, And big guy, end this war. You just need to end the war. Um, it could be done by end of the week. Monday morning, make an announcement. Anyone from this town to that town, inward. And by the way, if you're near that town, you probably should tape up your windows because the bomb and the repercussions are going to be pretty devastating. Wipe it out. Wipe it all out in one shot. Make the canal as deep as we want and as wide as we want. My God, you could even make a two-way traffic. It's again one ship going one direction goes this way, and another ship going. And I believe it's right red return is the actual nautical expression that everybody follows. Is right red return is meaning when you see the buoys blinking, guys. You have red ones and green ones. So right red return, you always stay on the right side of that buoy with your red dot on the tip of your boat. Or if you're doing it the old fashioned way by the moonlight, you just kind of navigate that way. But yeah, we're getting off the beaten path again here. Darren, when are you going to come in and save me? Because there's got to be something going on in your world. Let me close out of this. What else? All right, and if not, I got something that for you guys because I didn't get a chance to express myself.
Let's hear it, Henry. Let's hear it.
On Jessica Saxton and that whole first round of Battle of the Groups, which sucked. I didn't get a chance to get involved because I wanted to, mediate a little bit. But yeah, I mean, everybody was out of control in certain ways. And Jessica, kudos to you, babe. Anytime you want on my show, you got a spot. I think you're a great person. I think you're doing good things. I just want to again have a couple of questions answered. Where's the end route? Where's the end path? Because nobody even answered. Well, if we can't go to the U.S. Supreme Court, the highest court of the country, and argue pro se or sui juris, or as a living, breathing American, then what's the game plan? I mean, if we get all these petitions together, I still didn't get that aspect of it. So, but yeah, I mean, Lewis, dude, you gotta chill out a little bit, brother. Love you and everything. You're a very brilliant guy, but to continue to refer to as your law, your style, your path, and I know this is gonna go bullshit on your end. It's just don't take it personally, bro. We're all trying to come up with the right thing. That again, this law has been out there for 250 years, bro. How is it your law? How is it your style? My opinion is everything that we're doing. Yes, we know the American Bar Association is corrupt like you wouldn't believe. So they're not going to make the arguments that we're going to make. Even our attorneys that represent us in court won't cross that line because after my case, they're going to have another 100 cases in front of that judge, and that judge will be biased. No doubt about it. Just like, think of somebody you don't like in your town. You wave hi just to say hi, but sit next to them during church and talk like your good old buddies. I don't think so. It's just not going to happen. But anyways, yeah, so that was just one thought. And again, Lewis, man, love you. Angry citizen, you got to calm down. I thought you were a little too aggressive for no reason at all against Lewis. So Lewis, before you label me the bad guy, I am sticking up for you. And I'd like to see more of it. I think we ought to include Tanawa. I mean, again, it's just, I have millions of questions for everyone. And I don't think, like right now, me giving up my time here and now, that it's appropriate to say, somebody should pay for your time. I agree. Lewis, you cannot learn something, but if somebody came to you with something for a review or something like that, why not push the agenda? If somebody's pushing it, why not guide them in the right appropriate way? And that's the only way I know is just by an open debate of what the law is, and you go home with your own decision on how you want to apply the law in your own matters. This is why I keep screaming about the ADA. Did you guys make a complaint? Did you contact your local disability groups? Did you have to document these patterns, because without the documentation, you can't call it discrimination. And I know it sounds fucked up to say that, but the facts are that they have a prophylactic strictest scrutiny standard that they must identify. They must ensure that they're compliant. And that would be people that, again, hey, this guy's acting goofy in court. Somebody give the cue to the judge to call a 5-minute recess. Everyone clears out of the courtroom. The ADA coordinator, again, should be announced equal and the same, like a Miranda right. The ADA coordinator would go out to the hallway and approach the person and say, by the way, here's your procedural safeguard. We're making sure that you're aware of it. Can you sign here like they do in educational laws? That we've advised you that, if there's something bothering you and you feel like there's a problem against the disabled in this matter, you can address it with us. Or if you need assistance or help or a note taker, real-time cart, whatever it might be that you want to choose for in-person emotional support, whatever it might be. You really got to ask, and it only becomes when they deny and they don't tell it by the procedural steps of denying, which is, again, deny as a undue burden against the disabled's disability for the facility itself to say it would be too much out of routine of our norms of policies and procedures. It would almost endanger eliminating it. And guys, when I talk to policies and procedures, if you haven't caught about that one, which again, this will be a great time to ask Lewis, Tanoa, Jessica, wouldn't that, or Darren, wouldn't that be a statute? A state statute is considered a policy or procedure because Congress set the standard here, tied it into your affirmative civil rights through Title VII, tied it in through international human law. It's again, I'm looking at it as, okay, anything less than those barriers right there should end up being a state statute, which is a policy or a procedure. Because again, within state statutes, it has to tell you how to report something, how to do something, what documents you need. So I don't know. But that was one thing. And then, guys, about the Connie Rugul hearing. I don't know about you guys, but Connie, love you. Thank you for bringing that argument up. But I feel is the same thing going on to you that they do to me. If you listen to the hearing before hers, which I tuned in a good 20 minutes beforehand, or maybe 15 minutes, and because I was worried about the system crashing. And long story short was I was listening to the judges, very aggressive, very good questions. When it came to Connie's case, they weren't having it from her attorney. And that's what I'm talking about, guys. When we know the bar members are penalized for being aggressive, we can get away with a little bit more ignorance of the law, whatever you might want to call it. I don't have courtroom etiquette, let alone street etiquette, let alone talk show host etiquette, as you all fucking know. Just sick of it all. So I don't know. It's just, what can we do? Keep waking up every day, putting our pants on and making the fight, guys. It's all we can do. Pray next week's going to be, or this coming week's going to be a better week than last week. Yeah, so I don't know if we even want to throw out a little questionnaire thing tonight, Darren. If somebody wants to come in and ask a question, because I've covered my little freaking aspect of life here. I think I dumped pretty hard. Thanks, guys, for listening.
You sure did, Henry. You laid it down.
Yeah, and again, it's no offense to nobody, Darren. We got to get to the bottom of this, man. This is 250-year-old law with a modern twist.
Well, here's the thing, man. The problem is that we're understanding the law. We're understanding how to apply it. We're understanding how to put it down. We're understanding how it should win. And the courts aren't ruling in the favors of any of us that are doing so. That's the problem.
Or it's the other fact that I have. They call it unpublished cases, and in my world of the ADA, unpublished cases are technically your stronger cases. So it's a systematic. Let's slow down the brakes of change.
And I want to address this, Tammy. I love you. You know that. And you pray for us all the time, and I love that too. But we got to stop with the Democrats and Republican thing. We got to think of everything as Americans. No more Democratic, no more sides. Because could you really understand if these peoples really spoke from their heart and they weren't labeled a D or an R or whatever? Would you even know if they were a Democrat or Republican? Would you know what their sides are that they're running for? Would you know what their agenda is over that? Like, we need to really stop pinning labels on people and start thinking of us as America, because as long as America is what's in the best interest of these people that are running, then America is what it needs to be, and that needs to be it, and that's what we're voting on, not a party side. The party side, there's their division. That's what they've created, a system for us to pick and choose. That way we could stay banging heads with each other this whole time, and not paying attention to what the real relevance to their arguments even are. We've got to stop with the left and right. We've got to stop with
but with my state, I've been 35 years of Democratic. I see her point. 35 years of Democratic rule. I'm good friends with a lot of Democrats, and actually, one of the biggest fighters up there was Minnie Gonzalez for our parents' rights and family rights. So again, it's just whatever it is. I like being an independent, and I hate the fact that independents are not appropriately funded equal to Democrats. I think if we had the Democrat and Republicans, if we were able to open the caucus and say we have the same rights as independents, I think independence would grow 100% in this country.
Let's go, Brandon. You said caucus. That was funny. Caucus what, Henry?
Caucus?
Yeah, caucus what?
Caucus, and a new independent caucus. There's a Republican caucus, there's a Democratic caucus, but we don't have the same privileges as them as being independent when it comes to voting.
So our caucus is solid.
Huh?
We need our caucus solid.
I guess so.
Right? We need it to stand up.
Well, something has to change in the system. No more of this bullshit fracture. Democrat and again, if you want to create another party, you're liberal. I don't know. We don't need any more parties. What we need are Americans, and that's what we need to vote. We need to get rid of the red and blue. We need to get rid of all this shit, and we need to listen to what people are saying that they want to do for our country as Americans. No more like, oh, I want to better this party or better that party. This is where they're winning. This is where they're beating us. I had an argument with my mother tonight. Same damn thing. Because she's like, if we got rid of all these Democrats, I'm like, do you even know what Democratic Party stands for, or who they are, or what they are? And do you even know what these things do? Because everyone's like, I love Donald Trump. Okay, I love Donald Trump too, but name one thing that this guy stands for right now. If you can't name one thing that this guy is standing for, then you shouldn't be sitting there parading around going Democrats and Republicans, because you don't even know yourself. I like the Doge caucus there, Johnny boy.
Yeah, Doge caucus. Yeah, Doge caucus strong. Right?
I don't know, man. So does anyone got any problems they gotta talk about the ADA tonight? And again, save American children. Yeah, so talking about that, I've never told you guys the name of Melissa's group. Oh Christ. Intentional. Oh God.
Jesus.
Child Safe Integrity Alliance. Guys, go to Facebook. Look that up for me. Child Safe Integrity Alliance. She's cranking. She's cranking, man. When I say to you, she's cranking, we know everything. Fran's done freaking. Yeah, she's running the con still. I understand too that I can't even think of her name. Kathleen Arthur is done. They even know that she's running around. She's not part of the Trump administration. No shape, form, no absolute way is she part of them. And on top of it, what makes it even funnier, she bashes them. So when she bashes them, it goes right to his office as a review of security. You can't say key freaking words. I mean, seriously, you want to really get the FBI looking at us tonight, just say some key phrases and we'll know what that is.
I don't need that right now.
No, I'm just saying to you, it's so stupid. Who would be stupid enough to put out a video
That's right,
bashing
Jamie.
Donald Trump than saying you're working for him? Are you that stupid?
Right, right. There we go. I like that one, Henry. I like that a lot. And then Tammy, yeah, you're hell right. Get rid of the judges. I love that one. That's a good comment right there.
Immunity is going to be addressed, and it's being addressed in Melissa's bill. They don't have immunity. They never had immunity.
Now, what happened with Connie on the Sixth Circuit? What happened there? What happened with that?
I think they didn't want to dance down the road. They weren't letting the lawyer go down the road. She wrote in her live afterwards. She said the briefs covered it, but the oral argument didn't. So, and they played like that devil's advocate, like, geez, which way did they go, George? You know, how did you connect that they were colluding against your rights?
Right. So they didn't. They just bounced around it.
Right. So it'll be another dance. And on that Facebook Live that day, I said, get ready for your appeal. Get ready for your appeal, Connie. And if anyone can do it, babe, it's you. And this is where, again, Jessica, anyone that has brilliance. I mean, we've had some brilliant people on this show, and I can't see why we cannot have 100 people in a room talking openly, normal, not calling each other idiots or you should be in jail or that jail. Fuck, come on, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't end.
Nope, it doesn't, man. And that's why we need to stop picking sides, Henry. We need to just go for what we need to see as America. And if these people aren't talking about what's the best interest of America, then they need to go. Period. That's it.
Right.
That's all. Very simple.
And any idiot that would say fraud in the government's okay is kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Especially at the scales we're seeing the states do it. It's crazy. Let's dance. Love it.
Let's dance.
I mean, seriously, if you want to come on, witness, come on in. I would love to hear some ideas.
Dance. We can dance.
Because, like right now, with me finding that find about Trump making the executive order of fraud and JD Vance is in charge of this, that opens up a strengther argument to the federal government when you go and do a petition for removal that they have to send this to somebody. They just cannot dismiss. This is the bullshit that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And again, factually beat me. If you can factually beat me, okay. You know?
Yeah, Brenda was down there in the Capitol yesterday. That's right. Bring back Brenda. She went live. She was fighting the masses down there in Tallahassee, standing up for the children's rights and everything, standing right out in front of a DCYFHSPPPQFMNN office that they have down there. They were right there in front of that, making all kinds of noise. A bunch of people were down there with Brenda. And they were all standing out front, flashing signs, making notice to stuff. That was really cool.
Yeah, she had a lot of signs.
Yeah, nice work, guys. All of you. Same with the Canton, Ohio, the Canton Wall of Shame group, man. They're kicking ass, man. They're out there and they are just putting. Have you ever seen? Did you ever see the Justin Hartley video where he went and addressed his town council about his issue?
No, but I encourage people to do that.
I'm going to encourage you too because I want to pull it up here for you and let's play it here.
And that's why Jessica's fact makes fact. In other words, she's identifying.
I'm sorry, it's Justin Nicely. I'm sorry, not Justin Hartley. It's Justin Hartley, and there's Justin Nicely. It's Justin Nicely. I'm sorry, guys, to get that. I mixed that up. Sorry.
And Brenda, you're right. You have to go to the AG's office. In my case, I've already hit my head AG. I've already hit when he was at the head of the Judiciary Committee at the Legislative Building. I already know he's discriminating. He's already been identified, and he doesn't do anything about it.
All right, I'm going to play this.
Things are going good for you, Brenda, with your husband.
Check this out, guys. This is what I'm talking about. This is if everybody would do shit like this, man. This is balls right here to the wall right here. This is as cool as it gets right here.
But right, Jessica, what she's doing is correct. Lewis has got to support, man. Might not be factual by law, but
My
law
name
is
is
great.
Justin Nicely, former resident of 1124
You hear
13th
that?
Street Southwest
Yep.
over at the
Yeah.
Jackson
Blow
Shared
it up if you
Communities.
can.
Now I reside in Massillon. Now, I've come to you guys for I don't know how long, past year and a half, telling you guys you have a problem. And I know I'm irrelevant. I'm just Joe Schmo, a random piece of crap that ain't none of y'all going to listen to. So I just decided that, you know what, it's been too long. I'm just going to come over here and call everybody out. Let's talk about how come the Canton City Police Department comes to my home and raids my house with CPS, kidnap my kids off of assumption alone, no court paperwork, nothing signed by a judge, no warrants to come into my house, just a BS allegation that I'm under the influence of a substance that I've never touched a day in my life. Here's the drug test from July 29th from that day, stating that the only thing that was in my system that I've been more than open about and for my mental health care is nothing but marijuana. Let's talk about those responsible with Star Metropolitan Housing Authority who sit there, I have documented, conspiring to quote-unquote intentionally screw me, and did in my family's time of crisis. Let's go ahead and talk about those who kidnapped my kids and then took them and trafficked them in the system to New York. 3 separate trips, 3 separate cities, all in 1 month's time. That supposedly it never happened. Let's talk about how those that conspired to blackmail me to sign a piece of paper claiming housing dependency that you people caused, to sit there and give my kids back to sweep it all under the rug on October 17, 2019, 3 months before we're supposed to go to trial. How about we go ahead and talk about our documented law director right here, Jason Reese, who's a documented liar, supposedly has no recollection of his personal acts of intimidation. But here's the still frames from the video, of the 19-minute video of him doing such, and in front of my 12-year-old son at that time. Now, anyone else also want to talk about his numerous open record law violations that I got him and his office documented on, and then their retaliatory conduct to try to press charges on people when they try to detain them? I'm not done yet. Let's go ahead and talk about our wonderful safety director, Andrea Perry. Did you call 911 on me and 2 counselors October 23rd, 2023, claiming my name's Kevin Mullally to get a heightened response and have me ambushed by over 20 Kansas City police officers? Lady, my name's Justin Nicely with the Canton Hall of Shame, and you're all going to damn well remember me after today. Now, let me talk about charges against the chief of police for setting me up November 7th, 2023, to come here to supposedly to file grievance in which I'm set up to be attacked as soon as I come in through the security entrance. You guys can't release the video footage, you can't release the security lobby footage, you can't release body camera footage, but you sure as hell did release the social security numbers and birth dates of 2 of your city bailiffs in a discovery after you made me plead, and then threatened me to go to jail for calling you to return it back. Now here's the deal, we're bringing back the Constitution. One by one by one, we're bringing back individual independence. Advocates, if you guys are ready to fight these bastards, get in touch with me. Let's do this. We're going to bring you down one unlawful policy after another, and now that you poke this Papa Bear, I'm not going away until you come to the damn table. Do you understand? Have a nice night.
How badass was that?
Beautiful. And you know what I would suggest? The only thing, he didn't have somebody who knew him that followed up for another 3 minutes of testimony, because
Right.
I swear, I'm sorry. Again, Lewis, I hope you're listening, but like Jessica's argument would make sense there right now, because again, they're basically committing fraud in doing it on the duty. These people have to be looked into. And again, ADA mandates they have to be looked into if it's a disabled person involved. But yeah, no, I would definitely say he should have used something to secure his rights, to say that they were mandated to investigate, because it is the town taxes that pays for all these program services and activities. And again, if not that taxes, then your state taxes, then your address is still within the town. So it becomes now a town entity, and they're supposed to run it up the chain of command through the legislators and get an answer.
Mm-hmm.
And yet they're not. And again, same with like dumbass Francesca. I called her out one time on this. I'm sorry, your Congress people, if there's federal funding involved and there's frauds involved, they should have an affirmative responsibility to be looking into this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're there. They're not there to kiss ugly fucking babies.
Right, that's their purpose.
It used to be your town mayor, bro. Everything was done through the town mayor. Going to get married, you want to have the farm burnt down, the community, you want to do something, or you know, school or a park or whatever it was back in the days, if there was violence, you'd go see your town mayor and your priest, depending on if it was family violence or violence in the community. Yes, there was a lot of corrupt mayors back in the day, nothing you can do, but corruption goes sooner or later. And I think we're on a cycle right now where it's time to clip them. And the more we can piss and moan and show, guys, again, document it that everyone knows.
Mm-hmm.
So what he did was appropriate, Lewis. But he didn't tie any legal arguments. That's where we come together as saying, you know what, if he did, like Jessica and Tano, I get it. The US 18-242-241 would be the end cause. I get that. I don't even have to go down there any. But there's also the malice intent, and I'm not sure, but talk for a minute with me. Talk. I'm gonna find something. Hold on.
Well, I mean, it's just we've just got to stop fighting amongst each other with the sides. That's the biggest thing I can possibly say, Henry. We've got to stop with the D's, the R's, the L's, all of these things, and we got to stop with the mafia. The alphabet mafia. We got to stop with that stuff, and we got to just start thinking about America, American children, America first, America, your neighbors, America this, America that. Because all we're getting now right now is Democrat and Republican, Democrat and Republican, Democrat. There are people out there making choices just based on something that their ancestry said was the thing you do, and they don't have a care in the world about it, or these people didn't even really exist, or these are the things that are leading our campaigns and leading the ways that these things are, that they're going. And this is just going to be, it's ridiculous, it's disgusting, and we need to forget about who's where and who's who, because it's not always the same that it seems. There's never is. It's never the grass is always greener on the other side. All of those sayings, those are all true statements to be said. That's just the way it is, and we have to stop all this. We have to stop the nonsense about taking on each other, because we aren't big enough as a group. Clearly, meaning that you swallow your best interests as a child, or you make it come down here. Yeah. I don't know. We just got to stop with the DNRs, man. No more Democrats, no more Republicans. We fight for America, and that's what we fight for.
Yep.
That's it. That's where I feel about it, and that's the way I feel that we need to be. And I'm not saying that the Democrats aren't wrong. I'm just saying that we got to stop with. We have to just stop. We just have to stop this stuff.
It's crazy.
So that's where I feel about all that stuff. The police should be doing the child protection work as part of their work. Yeah, you're right, John. They should be. I bet we'd have a hell of a lot more, a lot less cases if we did that.
Well,
which is, again, why they won't let us do it.
You go to the police, you'd file your complaint because it's a neglect or abuse situation. They would conduct it, and if they found there was harm, then that's when an entity like DCF would show up on your door. Other than that, they got no probable cause. They cannot stipulate. Well, it's like saying, hey, you're a poor guy sitting outside of McDonald's. Because you're poor, you're going to end up stealing McDonald's, so we're going to arrest you for theft of McDonald's. It just doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't at all. Absolutely right there, bud. Absolutely right.
Well, I'm almost there. I don't want to spill my guts on what I found.
Okay.
I did find something.
Henry's got some breaking news here.
Well, somebody tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm right.
Proves me I'm wrong. Oh.
And maybe that's what we ought to prove me wrong night. Well,
yeah.
Get all these big shots across the country. And there's clearly people out there where, they got the photo op. They want to use their money to go down in history like they're some, Martin Luther King or something like that. I don't know. I use Georgia Rosa Parks the other day to my court.
It's good.
Fuck them.
I like that, Henry. That was good. Harriet Tubman, one of them. Oh man, it's too much.
Basically, oh shit.
Oh shit! What'd you forget?
I'm looking for it. It's about immunity. Everybody keeps on saying, "Oh, you can't sue them in their official capacity only," and no, you can also go when your civil rights on the table have been violated. And I think first and foremost is your fundamental right of the family to be left the fuck alone, absent true harm and neglect.
Mm-hmm. Absent true harm and neglect, and that's the other thing. Where is the imminent danger? Where's the where's the imminent danger? Where's the what is the other thing? The EX word. Where's the imminent danger? The exit. Exit. What the hell is the word, Henry? The circumstances that we have to come into our houses. The oh my god, extringent circumstances. Extringent, right? That's how you say that.
The extringent.
Extringent.
Yeah.
Extringent. Either way, imminent danger and extingent circumstances, and things of that nature. You know, like where are those when they say that they come in and raid our houses? Where are they? Who the hell had those? None of us. I guarantee you, nobody that's even listening to this show had any sort of these circumstances for them to come and remove their kids. Nobody had
extraordinary circumstances. Yeah. What the hell is that word? Oh shit, man. Now I got a brain fart too.
I'm pretty sure it's extingent.
In my comprehensive memorandum of law? I don't think so. Oh shit. I do expand fraud big time. Went to the Black Laws Dictionary and pulled a lot out of there. There's like 8 different types of fraud that you can have. Might be exaggerating on the number, but you get the point.
Right.
Is it notice a constitutional notice? It might be underneath the constitutional notice. Hold on. Nope. Ah, fucking. As soon as I'm done later tonight, I guarantee you. 7.1 rule disclosure. I don't think so. No. I swear it was in the memorandum. But basically, as soon as I can find it again, I'll give it to you because there's so much in here, guys. I got 33 documents I had to create for this federal removal, and I'm still not done, and it's killing me. So if somebody says you're great at federal, let me know. Wouldn't mind having you review it. And that's where, again, Lewis would be, be much appreciative. Tanoa, much appreciative. Jessica, much appreciative. Gunner, much appreciative. Any one of us, you know, you, Darren. It's just, you know, obviously, you know, I talk with you on a daily basis. I figure the show people know that, you know, and even Gunner. But it's just amazing. But yeah, so did everyone find that website there I was saying about Child Safe and Integrity Alliance? You want to join her? She's when I joined today, I think it was 12 people, but you're going to be seeing big things coming from Melissa.
I'm excited for her stuff, man. I really am, and she's really,
guys, really
she's
seriously
leading the way. She's leading the way.
Totally open-minded. You know, you guys seen her on our show. Darren and me who had talks with her. She's open-minded.
I'm excited, man. I'm really excited for her.
Well, I'm glad she's being receptively taken as genuine up there, because there's too many fakes, I believe. Too many people that are trying to. Melissa's, you know, totally happy with her chickens and her turkeys and her freaking geese and her dogs and her husband and, you know, her 2 kids. Yes, she has lost 1 kid and watching the abuse of him, but whatever. Alleged abuse, I have to say. Sorry, to be legally correct, so we don't get sued.
You're right. Because we can't afford that. Lord knows that.
Right. Well, that's what these dumbasses would do to us to shut us down. And you know, my poor friend Nikki there in Ohio, she attended a school event the other day, and the only reason why I can talk about it is she put it up on Facebook, and the principal went and came up there and started giving her a ton of shit. She missed her own child fucking sing and dance. The worst part is you had to buy the tickets to go to these events at the schools. So unless the school's got a court order against you saying you can't be on no school grounds because you're a pedo or whatever reason that you've offended the school, fuck that. Court order doesn't stand on a public event. You know, that's what yes, you can't go ahead and purposely go out of your way to stalk the person that's there that you're not supposed to be around, but you can go sit in the nosebleeds and again watch your child and camcorder and show you were there. You know. But
I love it. I love it.
I don't know.
I was just reading through some of these comments, man.
Yeah.
Well, what are you thinking, Henry? What are you thinking, buddy? I think Becca's in here. Does she want to have something to say? Becca, you're in the back room here. What do you got? You got something to say? There's Becca. Where are you, Becca? I know your mouth's going to move.
Listen, Linda. I have nothing to say. I was just watching the show, but it's just easier to watch it on Restream than it is on YouTube because, well, it's crap on YouTube here lately, so it keeps getting kicked off.
Oh, really? No shit.
Hey, it's on YouTube. Are you seeing a thin little strip instead of having the whole page? Because I tried telling that to Darren the other day. It didn't make sense to me. Guys, if you're on YouTube, tell us if you're seeing it as a strip, sort of like a cell phone type image versus a whole page.
No, I was actually seeing it versus the whole page. I did see the whole page, but what was I gonna say? But I haven't. The only thing that was wrong with YouTube was the fact that it kept cutting off. Like it only did a recording earlier of like 11 minutes, and then of your show, and then of course I guess it started again. I would assume, but it keeps like shutting off out of nowhere. And I don't know if that's Restream or YouTube or what, but
ReTube or Ustream or something.
What was
Melissa,
that?
She actually contacted me for data because she wanted me. She was telling me about her organization that she had created, and asked me if I was willing to come on in as a data collector for her.
Well, that's cool.
What's the name of that company we were talking about the other day where we were complimenting those guys on Darren? We watched the show together. What was the name of that company? It wasn't Restream. It was
StreamYard.
StreamYard. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I told you we should look into, Darren.
Yeah, that's what we did on
Davis.
Davis. That's what we did on Davis's show too, with StreamYard. And if they've come up to the par with what Restream does, then yeah, I mean we can look at it. But
yeah, because I don't know what's going on, but this isn't the first time. It happened the other day when we were on a show.
it's been happening a lot more lately. The stripping, you know, like of the things that we can do, the things we don't do, the things we do that we think is saved, and then we go and play it back and so skipping and stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, don't forget too, we're being hacked like all-time new record. I don't know if you guys saw in the news the other day, but they were able to get into the medical industry. So if you're like on a heart monitor, they're able to fucking make it go haywire and make everybody think there's false alarms and
Okay, people need
or shut it off.
Oh my god! I literally watched Cross the other day, and literally they did that on an episode of Cross.
Really?
Yeah, literally the people that were doing it to this woman was literally this woman had a pacemaker, and this woman was from remote place, and they literally hit her with they hit her pacemaker. It made her flatline.
Wow.
That's crazy that you say that. Like
I believe it.
They always say what's on TV.
Can't they hijack your car, especially an automated self-driving car?
Mm-hmm. They say they tell us everything by what they show us on TV, essentially.
I heard there's a new car going on where if somebody blows by you at 100, you know, I'm exaggerating on the speed limit, but if somebody goes by you on the speed limit, it actually you take a picture of the car and sends it right to the cops.
What?
That's gonna be the future of law enforcement.
That's nice.
BMW has invented this technology.
Oh my god.
Tattletale technology.
Yeah, right.
It is all done. Okay, have if you want. Sure, you can get your pajamas.
Mm-hmm.
They're creating snitch technology. Snitches get stitches, don't they know?
That's right.
Well, it's going to be automatic. It's going to be a self-reporting. You know, you spit and you get a fine. You know, it's what is that going to be?
I better hold in their gas and not fart the wrong way.
Judgment Day with Arnold Schwarzenegger, not Arnold, Sylvester Stallone, where he's that cop that gets brought out of cryogenics, deep freeze.
Uh-huh.
No, I could see it happening.
Did you guys hear Chuck Norris died?
We did. Oh, it's a damn shame.
He was actually a good guy.
84 years old, man.
I know, that's crazy. I thought it was a hoax at first. I was like, because you know how they constantly be having those hoax on Facebook and stuff, and it was like, no, it's real. I'm like, oh, what?
I don't think he's one that ever got polluted by Hollywood.
No.
Didn't want to know nothing about the party, just kept his simple life.
He just kept to himself.
Yep. Snoop Dogg got arrested for Tupac.
What?
Yeah, I saw something on Facebook. I can't even believe we're talking about that bullshit still.
I can't believe we're talking about it. Nobody's arrested still.
I know, right?
We know it was all cover-ups, but there's bigger fish called Epstein files.
Suge Knight was arrested. I think I think Suge had something to do with it, so.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
They all did. It was all big money.
Mm-hmm. It was all about the money. And then they made more money with them being dead than they ever did with Biggie and Pac being dead.
Yep. It's crazy, but yeah, I don't know. Well, anyone got anything else? I mean, it's 10 o'clock. Might as well rip out of here. Darren, you're going to bring me back into the thingy, and we're going to try addressing some of that stuff on that app again.
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
Because we got to get that fired off and get that up and going. But again, guys, I'm begging you, please go see Child Safety and Integrity Alliance with Melissa. It's going to be very well worth your time. She's not a joke, and she's ready to share it. But trust me, the fact of we got to get a bill. Once we get the bill, let the shitstorm happen. We just need a bill number. And I don't care whose idea it is. Thanks for coming in, Darren. Thanks for coming in. Best of guys. We'll see you the same time, the same channel. Might go into an emergency equal and the same this week. Stay tuned. Maybe I'm thinking Tuesday. Because that's going to be my deadline. I'm done. I'm filing on Monday. I have no other choices. Later, guys. Enjoy the night. Appreciate you guys coming in.
Constitution bleeding, pages unfurled, freedom crushed by their darkened world. We're warriors, we're writing a new creed, no backing down, planting the seed. Stand up, heads high, screaming tonight. Rights ain't paper, they burn, but fight. Chains of their greed won't hold us long. Through their lies, we'll prove them wrong. Constitution, bleeding pages unfurled, freedom crushed by their darkened world. We're warriors, we're writing a new creed, no backing down, planting the seed. Constitution bleeding, pages unfurled, freedom